Hey Columbus, Tom Silva here from This Old House and Ask This Old House. And I'll be at the Dispatch Home and Garden Show on Saturday, February 16th.
Tom Silva has been a household name for anyone who loves home improvement, renovation, and television that teaches people how to build and fix things the right way. At 77 years old, Tom is finally opening up about what really happened behind the scenes over the years, and the truths he shares are both surprising and emotional. For more than 4 decades, Tom Silva has been the heart and soul of This Old House. Many fans know him as the kind, knowledgeable contractor who always explains every step of the process and makes it look simple. But what viewers didn't always see were the struggles he faced when cameras weren't rolling, the internal challenges, hard decisions, and moments of deep reflection about his role on the show. Tom joined This Old House officially in the 1980s, but his relationship with the show began even earlier. In fact, Tom and his family-owned business, Silva Brothers Construction, worked on the very first season in 1979. Back then, the show was a new idea, one that tried to show real work being done on real homes by real professionals. Tom stood out immediately. His calm personality, clear explanations, and hands-on skills made him an audience favorite. Over the years, while hosts and producers changed, Tom stayed. He became a steady presence that viewers relied on. Fans didn't just see him as a contractor, they saw him as a teacher, a mentor, and even a friend. Behind the scenes, however, things were not always so simple. Tom has now revealed that during his early years on the show, he often felt unsure about how much input he really had. He was doing the work, bringing real-world knowledge to the table, but decisions about the direction of the show were sometimes made without considering the builder's side. Tom has shared that he once went to the producers and told them directly that if his role wasn't valued properly, he would step away. It was a bold move, especially on such a high-profile program. But Tom wasn't being difficult, he was being honest. He didn't want to be just a background figure doing the labor. He wanted to make sure the show stayed true to what it promised. Honest, practical education about home renovation. Conversation changed things. Producers began to involve Tom more deeply, not just in construction, but also in design discussions and episode planning. After Bob Vela left the show in 1989 over disagreements related to commercial endorsements, Tom's role became even more central. He wasn't just the builder anymore, he became a major voice in what This Old House stood for. He helped guide the show through changing times, always sticking to the idea that it should teach people how to take care of their homes and take pride in the work they do. His dedication to quality, craftsmanship, and honesty became a model for others on the show and beyond. While Tom Silva's television persona has always been calm and professional, his career behind the scenes was filled with big decisions and personal challenges. One of the biggest changes came during the 2010 to 2015 period, when the show was trying to adapt to a new audience. Television was changing fast, and producers thought it was time to bring in younger experts to connect with a younger crowd. There were talks about reducing the screen time of longtime team members like Tom Silva, even possibly phasing them out. It wasn't personal, it was business, as they say, but for Tom, it was hard to hear. He had helped build This Old House into what it was. Being told that it might be time to step aside felt unfair. But Tom didn't back down. Instead of quietly stepping away, he spoke up. He made it clear that he believed the show still needed experienced professionals. He also received strong support from his fellow team members and especially from the viewers at home. Fans of the show, many of whom had been watching for decades, wrote in to say how much they valued Tom's presence. They didn't want flashy, new faces who might look good on camera but didn't have the same deep experience. They wanted Tom. The producers listened. Not only did Tom stay on the show, but his role expanded again. He became more involved in both This Old House and Ask This Old House, offering advice, sharing tips, and working closely with newer team members. Still, all this came at a cost. In 2004, Tom nearly left the show entirely. He's recently shared that during that year, the stress became almost too much to handle. There were disagreements between the television production team and the construction team about how things should be done. As someone trying to meet real-world construction standards while also meeting TV deadlines and demands, Tom often found himself caught in the middle. He considered resigning, even drafting a letter, and talking with his family about what life after the show might look like. In the end, he didn't leave. After some hard conversations with producers, Tom was given more authority and more respect. For his technical decisions on set, this marked a turning point in his journey, not just as a contractor, but as a leader. One of the hardest moments in Tom Silva's life came in 2018 with the sudden loss of Austin Wilson, a young team member who had been personally mentored by Tom. Austin had shown great promise, and Tom had taken him under his wing. His death while on a filming trip shocked the entire team, but it hit Tom especially hard. He thought about walking away from it all. The emotional burden was heavy. But with time, the support of his crew, and a sense of responsibility to Austin's memory and to the viewers who had grown up watching him, Tom decided to stay. That decision wasn't just about the show, it was about honoring the work and continuing to build a legacy for the next generation. Tom Silva's decision to stay wasn't just about finishing projects or filming more episodes. It was about guiding the future of a program he helped build from the ground up. Over the years, Tom became more than just the contractor on camera. He became the technical backbone of the entire production. His responsibilities grew to include reviewing project designs, choosing building materials, and working closely with editors to make sure that each episode made sense for both new viewers and experienced builders. Tom had a unique way of explaining things. Whether he was showing how to properly install siding or how to frame a wall, he made even complex tasks easy to understand. That ability made him one of the most trusted voices in home renovation on television. As the show moved into new seasons and tackled bigger projects, Tom took on a mentorship role. One of his proudest achievements has been bringing his nephew, Charlie Silva, into the spotlight. Starting in 2016, Tom began guiding Charlie through small roles and gradually introduced him into larger projects. It wasn't a quick handoff to make sure that Charlie proved himself every step of the way. Today, Charlie is one of the regular contractors on the show, and viewers have embraced him as part of the This Old House family. This family aspect has always been important to Tom, and many fans have said that the dynamic between Tom and Charlie adds warmth and continuity to the show. Tom didn't stop at mentoring family. He also worked closely with other team members like Mauro, Enric Painting, Jen Nawada Landscaping, and Heath Eastman Electrical. He didn't just offer advice, he shared his time, his experience, and his values. He helped make sure that every department on the show worked together smoothly. That kind of behind-the-scenes leadership is rare, especially in a television industry known for quick turnarounds and frequent staff changes. But Tom stayed. He showed that true leadership isn't loud or flashy, it's steady, consistent, and supportive. Beyond the camera, Tom also started working on something he feels deeply about: training the next generation. Since 2020, he has been a technical advisor for This Old House's Generation Next program, which connects young people with skilled trade opportunities. Tom speaks at vocational schools, attends trade shows, and sits on advisory boards. He wants to help fill the growing gap in the skilled labor market. His message is simple but powerful. Working with your hands is honorable. It builds confidence, skill, and pride. Through Generation Next and his outreach work, Tom is helping to ensure that the trades remain strong in the years to come. As Tom Silva reflects on his long journey, he admits it hasn't been easy. It's been meaningful. Over the years, he's helped renovate dozens of homes, trained countless professionals, and educated millions of viewers. He's been the voice of reason, the steady hand, and the quiet leader on a show that has become a cultural landmark in the United States. His presence has made This Old House more than just a TV show. It's become a trusted guide for people trying to improve their homes and their lives. His impact is not measured only in nails and wood, but in the trust he's earned from families across the country who watched him week after week. In recent seasons, especially between 2021 and 2025, Tom has taken on even more responsibility. He has helped select the neighborhoods where projects will be filmed, coordinated production timelines, and ensured safety on set. With projects in towns like Brookline, Westford, and Ridgewood, Tom has continued to push the quality and educational focus of the show. His work doesn't end when the cameras stop rolling. He reviews footage, works with editors, and ensures that the message of each episode reflects the values of hard work, honesty, and respect for craftsmanship. When Norm Abram retired in 2022, many viewers wondered what the future of This Old House would look like. For many, Norm and Tom were the heart of the show. But as Norm stepped away, Tom stepped up. He became not just the lead builder, but the symbolic head of the program's mission. He has carried the show's original spirit, education, professionalism, and pride into a new era. While younger faces have joined the crew, Tom has made sure that their skills are sharpened and their goals aligned. His role now includes preparing others to one day take his place, but always with the understanding that the values must remain. Even now, in his late 70s, Tom shows no sign of slowing down. He continues to be involved in every part of the show. His ability to adapt, to stay relevant, and to inspire new generations is what truly sets him apart. He's not just a carpenter or a TV personality. He's a role model for how to lead with humility, skill, and heart. Tom Silva may not have started out wanting fame, but he earned it through decades of quiet dedication. And now, as he shares his story, confirms the struggles he once kept private, and opens up about the moments that nearly pushed him to quit. Fans are getting a rare look at the man behind the legend. Tom Silva's journey is one of resilience, loyalty, and purpose. He has spent his life building more than just homes. He has built a community, and in doing so, he's become one of the most respected figures in American television. At 77, his words carry the weight of experience and the warmth of someone who genuinely cares about the work he does and the people he serves. His story is a reminder that true greatness often lies in quiet, steady effort, and that sometimes the most powerful legacies are built one board, one wall, and one home at a time. Tom Silva's story starts way back in 1947 in a quiet town called Lexington in Massachusetts. It was here that Tom was born into a hardworking family where building things wasn't just a job, it was a way of life. His father and older brother were already working in construction, and from the time Tom could walk, he was watching them hammer, measure, and build. He learned everything hands-on. While other kids were playing games in the yard, Tom was helping carry tools, mix cement, and learn the names of different wood types. His early years were filled with real-life lessons about working hard, fixing what's broken, and building things that last. He didn't go to any fancy design school or study architecture in college. Instead, he learned the trade by doing the work every single day. That kind of learning through sweat and experience would shape the rest of his life. In the 1970s, Tom and his brother Richard decided to take what they learned from their father and open their own construction company. They called it Silva Brothers Construction. The company became well known in the Boston area because of its high standards and attention to detail. People trusted them because they did the job right the first time. They didn't cut corners. They were honest and took pride in every project, big or small. One special job came when they were asked to build a set for a gardening show on a local TV station. That project would lead to a life-changing opportunity. The producers noticed how careful and talented Tom and his team were, and they invited them to help with a new home renovation show that was just getting started. That show was called This Old House. At first, Tom worked behind the scenes as a subcontractor. He wasn't on screen much, but his work spoke louder than words. His first big project was helping to renovate an old Greek-style house in a neighborhood called Dorchester. What stood out was Tom's calm leadership, his deep knowledge, and his ability to take old, crumbling homes and make them strong and beautiful again. His mix of hands-on skill and respectful attitude made him stand out. By 1988, he was hired full-time as the main contractor for this old house, and he's stayed there ever since. That's over 35 years of working on one of the most trusted shows in home renovation history, and through it all, Tom has remained humble, focused, and deeply committed to his work. Over the decades, Tom has been part of hundreds of renovation projects featured on TV. These weren't just simple bathroom fixes or kitchen upgrades. Many of the houses were historic landmarks, full of character but also full of problems: rotting wood, weak foundations, and outdated systems. One memorable project was the Weatherby Farm in Westwood, Massachusetts. The house was very old and had a unique sloped roof that was at risk of collapsing. Tom didn't just jump in and start tearing things down. Instead, he carefully planned a way to keep the roof's original look while making sure it was safe and strong for the future. That's what made Tom special. He respected the past while building for the future. Whether it was a small fix or a giant restoration, he always put quality first. As the years went by, Tom Silva became more than just a contractor. He became a teacher, not in a classroom, but in living rooms across America. Through his work on this old house, he showed people how to take care of their homes, how to solve problems without panic, and how to respect the craft of building. His calm voice, patient teaching style, and clear explanations helped viewers understand even the most complicated tasks. Whether it was replacing a foundation beam or restoring antique woodwork, Tom made it look possible. He never talked down to anyone. Instead, he encouraged learning and made people feel like they could do it too. His goal wasn't just to fix houses, it was to share knowledge that could last a lifetime. But Tom's contributions didn't stop with the television show. He also wrote for This Old House magazine, where he answered questions, shared building tips, and explained how to avoid common mistakes. He co-wrote 2 books, Complete Remodeling and A Homeowner's Manual, which have become trusted guides for anyone thinking about fixing or improving their home. These books explain everything in simple terms and are still used in trade schools and by young professionals learning the craft. Tom's writing helped turn his TV lessons into a permanent resource, something people could come back to again and again. From 2022 to 2024, even as he approached his late 70s, Tom stayed deeply involved in the work. He continued showing up at construction sites, managing teams, checking measurements, and making sure everything was built the right way. Some fans noticed that Charlie Silva, his nephew, was showing up more often. That's because Tom was slowly handing over leadership of Silva Brothers Construction to Charlie, while still guiding big decisions. But here's the truth that finally answered the rumors. Tom never planned to quit. In 2025, at the age of 77, he confirmed in a private meeting with the production team that he would continue his full role on the show. That means he's still the main contractor, still supervising builds, and still working closely with the cast and crew on big projects. Outside of television, Tom also gave his time and experience to trade groups and nonprofit organizations. He helped write safety rules for builders, advised on training programs for new carpenters, and worked behind the scenes with local groups that support young people learning the trades. He didn't make a big deal about it. He didn't show up on red carpets or talk about it on social media. But he showed up where it mattered. He made sure people had the tools, training, and support they needed to succeed in a tough industry. Too many in the building world, Tom is more than a personality, a mentor, and a role model. Even his own home tells a story. Tom and his wife Susan have lived in a 19th century house outside Boston for decades. He renovated it himself over the years, turning it into a warm, efficient, and historically accurate home. The project was so well done that it was featured at a historic renovation conference in Massachusetts and is now part of the state's architectural archives. The house shows his true values: respect for history, love of family, and doing the job the right way. He and Susan raised 2 children there, Kate and TJ. They don't work in construction, but they support the family business however they can, and they've watched as their father became a trusted figure, not just in their neighborhood, but across the country. Over the last few years, as Tom Silva got older and began appearing a little less frequently on screen, fans naturally started to wonder, was Tom retiring? Was Charlie Silva taking over everything? Would Tom quietly step away from this old house? Without any official goodbye, these questions kept showing up online, in fan discussions, and even in the comments sections of videos. After all, Tom had been on the show for decades. He was one of the only people who had been there nearly from the beginning. It made sense that people were asking, especially since many television personalities his age start to wind down. What added fuel to the speculation was the fact that Charlie, Tom's nephew, started appearing more and taking on more leadership responsibilities with Silva Brothers Construction. The shift seemed to happen quietly, and that's what made fans wonder if something was going on behind the scenes. Finally, in early 2025, Tom Silva addressed the situation directly in a private meeting with the This Old House production team, and the message was clear: he's not going anywhere. At 77 years old, Tom said he still feels healthy, active, and passionate about the work. He confirmed that he will continue to serve as the main contractor on the show and will remain fully involved in upcoming seasons. In fact, he's already scheduled to lead 2 major projects in Westford and Ridgewood, both of which involve historic buildings and complex renovations. Not only is he staying, but he's diving into some of the most challenging work the show has seen in years. He made it clear that while Charlie is handling more of the day-to-day business at Silva Brothers Construction, Tom is still involved in key decisions, especially when it comes to tough technical problems or historic preservation. This announcement put an end to months of rumors. Fans who were worried about his health or retirement were relieved to know that Tom is still just as active as ever. His love for the craft, his dedication to the show, and his deep respect for viewers all played a role in his decision to stay involved. He did say that he's happy to let Charlie and other younger team members take on more, but not because he's stepping back. It's because he wants to mentor them. Just like he was mentored, he believes the best way to keep the industry strong is to teach the next generation, not just through instructions, but by working side by side. That's why he's still on job sites, still reviewing blueprints, still picking up tools, and still climbing ladders when needed. It's not about the spotlight. For Tom, it's always been about doing the work right, and beyond the camera. He's still incredibly active. Tom holds the honorary title of Senior Advisor at Silva Brothers Construction. This gives him the flexibility to skip boring paperwork but still be involved in big-picture decisions. He helps choose staff for complex jobs, reviews company strategy, and gives final approval on high-level renovations. He also attends industry meetings and even sits on advisory boards for building code updates, especially in Massachusetts. After the COVID-19 pandemic, many local building codes had to be rewritten to improve health and safety standards. Tom's advice was directly included in several of those changes, showing that his expertise is respected even by government and planning boards. In his community, Tom is still giving back in quiet ways. He works with local organizations that teach carpentry and renovation to disadvantaged youth. He doesn't talk about it much, but nonprofit reports confirm he's been a behind-the-scenes mentor, helping plan workshops, reviewing training materials, and even visiting training centers to offer real-world advice. These students see him not just as a TV star, but as someone who genuinely cares about the future of the trade. He often reminds them that you don't have to be rich or famous to be proud of your work. You just have to show up, do it right, and treat people with respect. Tom's leadership style has never been loud or flashy. He doesn't go to celebrity events. He doesn't do product endorsements. He doesn't use social media to share updates about his personal life. Instead, he lets his work speak for itself. This quiet, professional approach is why he's earned so much respect, not just from fans, but from the tradespeople he works with every day. When Tom walks onto a job site, people listen, not because he demands attention, but because he's earned it. He leads by example and treats every member of the team from apprentices to producers with the same level of respect. That kind of leadership is rare, especially in a world where so many people chase attention or fame. In fact, This Old House itself has benefited from Tom's influence. The show has always been about education and craftsmanship, not drama, and Tom helps shape that identity. He's pushed for episodes to focus on real problem-solving and practical tips rather than flashy makeovers or personality-focused storytelling. He believes the audience deserves real knowledge, not just entertainment. That's why, even after all these years, the show is still respected as one of the most educational programs on television. It teaches people how to care for their homes and take pride in doing things the right way. Looking back at Tom Silva's career, it's hard to find someone else in the construction world who has had such a wide-reaching impact, both on screen and behind the scenes. What makes Tom's journey even more inspiring is how consistent and grounded he has remained. While others might have chased fame or shifted into celebrity roles, Tom stayed true to the craft. He never lost sight of why he started, because he loved building, fixing, and teaching. His career is not just about building homes, it's about building trust. Generations of viewers have grown up watching him solve problems, explain techniques, and encourage people to try things themselves. His calm, trustworthy presence has helped remove the fear from home improvement for millions of people in classrooms across New England. Tom Silva's projects are used as case studies. Trade schools show clips from This Old House in their lessons. Students pause the video when Tom explains a technique, then practice it in workshops. His style of teaching, simple, honest, and respectful, makes complex tasks easier to understand. And because he explains why things are done a certain way, not just how, students walk away with a deeper understanding of the work. His influence goes beyond the screen. It's built into the next generation of builders, electricians, carpenters, and contractors. Even more, Tom's values patience, discipline, respect have left a mark on the construction industry itself. In an age where quick fixes and shortcuts are common, Tom stands for something different. He shows that doing things properly, even if it takes longer or costs more, is always worth it. That message has become a guiding principle for many who entered the trade because of him. And he doesn't preach it, he lives it. Whether it's reinforcing an old farmhouse, restoring an antique window, or mentoring a young apprentice, Tom gives each task the attention it deserves. It's that kind of quiet dedication that has made him a role model, not just in America, but around the world. And as for the future, Tom Silva may be 77, but he's not slowing down. He continues to help design season plans for This Old House, suggest projects that challenge the team, and look for new ways to keep the show educational and exciting. He's still working with Charlie Silva, guiding the next phase of their family business, and he's still deeply involved in industry training and nonprofit mentorship. When asked why he keeps going, Tom's answer is simple: because I still love it. That love for the tools, the teamwork, the processes, what keeps him moving forward, and that's what keeps fans watching. Year after year, Tom Silva is more than just a builder. He's a symbol of professionalism, humility, and integrity. His story is proof that with hard work, real skill, and the right attitude, you can create something lasting, not just in wood and nails, but in the lives you touch. Whether it's through a perfectly framed doorway, a safer home for a family, or a lesson shared on screen, Tom has built something that will stand long after he's gone. So as the rumors fade and the future becomes clear, we can say this with confidence: Tom Silva isn't finished. Not by a long shot. He's still building, still teaching, still inspiring, and for that, we're all better off. If you've ever learned from Tom, been inspired by his work, or simply respect the decades of dedication he's given to the craft, show your appreciation by hitting like, sharing this video, subscribing to our channel, and leaving a comment below. What's the one thing Tom Silva taught you? We'd love to know.